Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be changing out the fuel injectors on a 5.9 liter Dodge Magnum 1500 Ram. So I got these brand new injectors here, the 4 nozzle tips on them. Already went ahead and unplugged our battery. Now I'm going to get started with disassembly, getting down into the fuel injectors, get all the fuel rails and everything off. So just remember to, when you get down in there, just to depressurize the system. And it's going to be this little cap right here. It's got a little, basically valve stem type thing. Just push down on it and it releases all the pressure out of it. So before you take the whole rail off and get squirted with gas, just remember to do that. To get your air cleaner off, for the stock models, I've modified this one, but the stock models are going to have a screw right down in here that holds it on. It's got a plastic piece that you have to pop up off, and then there's a air breather hose that connects back here to the original, and then you got this clamp here. You'll take it off, and then it will just come up off there. Alright. Get that off there. There we go. And this one is going to be, focus in, it's going to be 8 mil. Whatever, you can see it there. 8 mil. And then everything will come up off. Just lay that up out of the way. Make sure you get that gasket off there too. Alright. And you just have to undo all the connections. Most of them is going to be a pinch style. Just pinch it in there. And then let's just pull back. Sometimes they can be a little stubborn. There. And then there's one on the very back there. That's actually it's going to be a slip over and on. Got a tab up here to work that off. Alright. And that's going to be only if you're going to be taking the whole fuel rail out. If you want to try getting it off and replacing each one individually, good luck, but it's usually easier just to take the whole rail off. How everything's routed up here. So I already took off the PVC valve hose. Basically it goes back here in this slot. It runs back behind here and it comes down back over there. Get right there. Alright. Back down there. It just all feeds back around there. And this oxygen vacuum hose connects down there. The rest of it goes straight back and connects from there. It comes off. The manifold goes back and it goes back around there to all that. To run the inside valves for the heating and air. Alright, so the gas line, which is connected right here, it's got this little pop-over lock on it. You have to pop it up from the back, pop it forward, and then it will come out right back to the side. And you got this special gas line remover tool. There's probably things on YouTube that you can also look, that you can cut like a piece of hose or something and stick it in there, but basically it snaps around pipe and it shoves up in there, and then basically once you get pushed all the way up in, it just pops off. There you go. And just be ready for some gas spillage. Alright, just remove the tool and dab up any spilt gasoline. Try to keep down the risk of fire. Alright, so to get the fuel injector electric clips off. It's got two little tabs on each side of it. You squeeze in and pull straight back. Come right off. And basically, they just open up. That. Some are a little stuck. Take a little wiggling to get them off, but they'll come off eventually. Alright. After that, then basically just removing the 4 bolts and make sure nothing else is in the way, and we'll pop it up off there. Alright, to get the injectors up out of the holes there where the O-rings meet with the intake, these are long clip removers for vehicles. But what I did is I put one underneath there, and you could probably use a screwdriver or something, and pushed up on them, and working there, and then going up here and getting it up underneath this lip, and working it upward. It finally popped them up out. There you go, just like that. So now the back are out. And I just have to do the same thing with the front. So I was hoping we wouldn't have to do this, but I'll have to take loose the TV cable, which is transmission valve cable. It's right here, and it's got 2 little push down tabs on it. I've already got it on snap so it comes out, but basically it's got a little push down tab on top, on the bottom. Just do the bottom one first, pull it up, then just push the top one down, then it'll pop out. And you just got a slip-on connector, just pops over that, and just to pop it forward and come off. And then do the same thing on these 2 tabs there, and it will come back off. Just set it back there to the side, and then your rails come straight up over top of it. Alright, so I brought the fuel rail into the shop here so you can see it. See, here's your single hole, if I can get the focus there. This might cooperate. Now there's single hole injectors, which I'm turning out. I'm going to put a new, more modern 4-hole injector in. And I've got these little retainer clips down here at the bottom. If you want to pull them off, just stick your screwdriver up in there behind them, and you'll just give it a little twist. It should pop right off for you. It's hard to do with one hand. Shoot my way back over here. One reason why it's good to have 2 hands. There she is. Alright, there they are. Just a retainer clip. And they keep them from shooting off, what I usually do. Let me show you. I get it up there and put my finger on the back side of it. And I just use my other hand to rotate the thing away. And then it pops them right off there right in your hand. You got all the injectors reinstalled. I'm going to set it back down in there. Alright, there we go. The thing is, you just don't want to have the end of the injector contact a dirty spot. I don't have a dirty spot on the end of the injector, so you can start using it. Just gotta be careful when you're installing it. Sometimes it's kind of hard though. Spinning the hose. So they're lined up properly. Okay. All I should do is just be able to push them back down in. Just a little click. when they're properly seated, they should be, these metal retaining areas should be sitting flat down on top of the intake, and you should be ready to go. Just bolt it all back down in, click all the connections back together, out your hoses, and you're done. Okay, one thing to note when you're reinstalling them, well, first make sure you put like petroleum jelly or something like that on it, on the O-rings before you slip them back down into the metal housing. But when you're putting these retainer clips on, how they both look like they're installed, well, this one is not all the way installed yet. It's not sitting down, and it's slot all the way there. So yeah, so when you're doing that, just make sure grab on each side of it, get a little twist, and that will seat them, and then you shouldn't have any leaks when it goes back in. Real quick before I get it all back together, I want to say I went ahead and washed out my PVC valve, positive crankcase pressure valve, and basically just re-burns it, takes it out of the top of the valve cover there, and then sends it back around and back into the air intake, and goes back into the cylinders and burns up any pressure from your crankcase. Good way to check to see if it still works, just give it a little rattle. You hear that knocking back and forth. It's the little valve in there that slides up and down, doesn't let any oil. If you take off your hose that's connected to the top end and there's a whole bunch of oil and gunk, or if you take it off and oil runs out of the top end, go ahead and replace it. It's probably bad. Alright, let's get back to it. So you've got all my 4 retainer bolts back in there. And you can start setting all your wiring and hoses where they should be. Alright, everything should be hooked back up. Just make sure you go back over it again real quick and just check and make sure everything went back together pretty simply. Just make sure all your connectors are popped on and they don't pop off. Check your gas line twice. Just make sure it's on there really good. Alright, I'm going to tie this up and get it cranked up and see if it sounds any better. I already see one thing. I already forgot to put back on the heat sensor. So yeah, you just want to go back over it and make sure that everything's back and connected the way it's supposed to be. Oh, I missed it. Stuck way back down there. Alright. Alright, so that should be everything. I'm going to go back at it one more time, then put the air breather box back on, and then reconnect the battery, cycle the key a few times, then should be ready for a crank. There's one more thing. When you're getting ready to do this, just hold, I put them together, just had themselves holding themselves together, positive and negative, the whole time I've been doing this. But if you haven't done that and just took off the negative, go ahead and hold the positive to the negative side for, you know, a few minutes, or at least about a minute at least, to clear the old memory out of the computer, onboard computer, so it can start relearning itself again. So then you just go ahead and reconnect them both, and then should be ready to start cycling the key and crank this baby. Alright, so after you hook the battery back up, go ahead and get inside. Go ahead and turn your lights to the on position and back off. And you're going to cycle the key a few times. Go outside, and that relief valve that we talked about earlier. I'm going to press it. I've still got the cap off of it. I meant to do that. And just going to see if gas squirts out. Yep. So we should be ready to go. Just kind of dry the gas up a little bit. Old rag, and then remove the rag from the area. And then should be ready to get back to it. Go ahead and give her a crank after this and see if she'll run. Alright, here we go. Now if she does crank, it'll probably run really rough for a bit until it learns itself. Alright. Now we're just going to let it idle for a bit, learn the new injectors. It's starting to smooth out a bit.